Hi everybody, I'm Rachel. Welcome to my outdoor kitchen. In today's video, I'm gonna be preparing a delicious caldo de pollo. Now this is a traditional Mexican chicken soup. It's a super easy recipe to prepare. And today I'm gonna show you how to make it step by step. So let's get started. So I'm gonna be using 3 large chicken thighs, 4 chicken legs, and 4 chicken wings. But before I put them into my pot, I'm going to remove the skin and I'm going to remove the tip on my chicken legs. I don't like this. I think you've heard me say that before. Now I'm going to remove it with my cleaver. Just like that. I love this part. Now you can leave it on if you like. You can also have your butcher remove it. And here they are, see? Now here are the chicken thighs. I always remove the skin because I think that the chicken thighs just have too much skin. And I don't want my caldo de pollo to be greasy. Now the bone goes like this, so you can cut it either this way or this way, whatever's easier for you. Put them right here. Now I do leave some of the skin on some of the pieces. I'll show you in a little bit because I do want some of the chicken grease in there. That's what gives this caldo de pollo its delicious flavor. So you don't want to remove it all. And that's good for the thighs and the legs. Now with the wings, you don't want a lot of excess skin. So you want to remove that as much as you can. And I also don't like these little tips, but you can leave them there if you want. I like to remove them. I just think it makes for a neater looking caldo de pollo. My mama always removed them, so I think it's just tradition. So I'm removing the skin off of 3 of the chicken legs and leaving the skin on just 1 because the chicken wings have their skin and that's good. And here they are. Now we're ready to take these to the pot. So I'm going to be using this 12-quart stainless steel pot to make my caldo de pollo. I'm waiting for it to get nice and hot. I'm going to add a little bit of vegetable oil in here. And it doesn't take too much because the chicken is going to release some of its own. Now I'm going to add my chicken in here. Now you don't want to crowd it. Just do the best you can because you don't want it to steam. We're going to sear it. I've got my heat set on medium high. And that's good. Now I'm going to let my chicken sear for about 3 to 4 minutes on each side. And while it's doing that, I'm going to chop up my onions. Just a rough chop. I've got 1 medium onion here. Now my Ron and I both like texture in our soup. That's what makes the best caldo de pollo. Here we are. I'm going to set it right here on this platter. Now my celery. I've got 3 celery ribs, and these are kind of small, you see. If they were nice and big, then I would probably just use 2 of them. I'm going to remove the little joint. And then I'm going to cut them up, not too small, just like this. And I'm also going to use the leafy part because there's a lot of flavor in this part. Now my tomatoes. I'm going to be using 2 medium large tomatoes. And I'm just going to cut them up. And that's good. So it's about 3 minutes now. I'm going to flip my chicken over. Look at that. See how pretty and gold it is? And it's releasing its grease. And that gives our caldo de pollo a delicious flavor. Now I'm going to give this side another 3 minutes. So while my chicken sears on that side, I'm going to grind my spices. I have 1½ teaspoons of peppercorn, 1½ teaspoons of whole cumin. I'm going to add a little salt, just a little. Now you can add ground cumin or regular black pepper, but I think that the fresh peppercorn and the comino gives it that delicious, authentic flavor. So my cumin and my peppercorn are nice and ground. Now I'm going to add my garlic. I have 6 medium large garlic cloves. It's a big pot, so don't be afraid of the garlic. So my garlic is nice and ground. I'm gonna add some water in here, about 1.5 cups. And I'm just gonna set it aside until I'm ready to use it. Now I'm gonna add my onions right in there. So I'm gonna saute my onions a little bit until they get just a little translucent. Now I'm gonna add my celery. I want them to sweat a little bit in here. You want to bring the maximum flavor out of every ingredient that you put in the pot. It's been about a minute or so. Now I'm going to add my tomato paste. I have 1.5 tablespoons of tomato paste. And I'm going to add it in here before I add any of the liquid, because you want the tomato paste to sizzle in there just a little bit and release its flavor. Look at that. Now I'm going to add all my tomatoes. Oh, this is going to be delicious. I'm going to add my water. Now this is 4 quarts of hot water. And I'm going to add my better than bouillon chicken flavor. 2.5 tablespoons is good. That'll just give it a more potent chicken flavor. That's about half right there. So I've got my heat set on medium. So now I'm going to replace my lid and I'm going to wait until it comes up to a boil. So it just came up to a boil. I am removing all the protein that forms up at the top, foamy part, because it'll make your soup murky and you want a nice clean broth. So I have removed all the protein. Now I'm going to add my spices from my molcajete in here. And that's good. Place my lid. And I'm going to wait until it comes up to a light boil. I want it set on medium-low for about 20 to 25 minutes. So while I have my timer set on 25 minutes, I'm going to brown my rice. In this skillet, I'm going to add a little bit of oil. And I'm going to add 1 cup of rice. You can use long grain rice, jasmine rice, whichever you like. And I'm going to be moving it around gently until it gets nice and golden. I think it helps remove some of that starch. And while I do that, I'm going to cut up my vegetables. I'm going to be using 3 or 4 carrots. I think maybe just 3. And these are medium size like this. They're nice and clean. And I'm going to cut them up bite-sized pieces, not too big. So here are my carrots. Now my calabacitas. I'm going to be using 4 of these. Now you can use zucchini if you can't find these Mexican calabacitas. These are my mama's favorite. I'm going to cut these in half, and then in half again, and then in pieces about this size like this, about 1.5 inch. See? Some people like to put cabbage in their pot of soup. Some people like to use corn on the cob. Now I am going to be using corn off the cob. See, here it is. I don't like to see the pieces of corn on the cob in the pot. But you can just cut them up into small pieces and put them in the pot, and that'll work. And I'm done with my calabacita. Now my potatoes. I've got 3 gold potatoes, about this size right here. And I'm going to cut them up into pieces about the same size as my calabacita. The calabacita will be just a pinch bigger because they don't take that much time to cook, not as much as the potatoes. Now I like to use a gold potato or the red one because they hold their shape a little better than like the russet. But if russet is all you have, you can use that. Now I've got half of a sweet potato. And you're saying, what? A sweet potato? Yes. It's going to give it that subtle sweetness that is going to be delicious. And everybody's going to ask you, what did you put in your caldo de pollo? It just tastes different than all the other ones that I've had. And it's going to be your sweet potato. That's good. And here they are. See? These are ready to go. Now I'm just going to wait until my rice is nice and golden. So it's been 25 minutes. Let's take a look. See the nice steady boil? Now I'm going to add all my vegetables in here. Now my corn. I use 4 small, medium ears of corn. I'm going to add my rice. I'm going to taste it just a little bit. I'm going to add some salt. And I think that's good. I'm going to add a little cilantro. I'm going to replace my lid. And I'm going to wait until it comes up to a nice, low, steady boil. And I'm going to set my timer for 20 minutes. So I'm going to turn off the heat because our caldo de pollo is ready. So I'll start with my chicken and my vegetables first. Delicious. One of my corn tortillas. I'll squeeze just a little bit of the lime juice and just a little pinch of salt, and then roll it up. Now it's time for the taste test. A little of the sweet potato in the chicken. This is heavenly delicious and very nutritious. So this is my caldo de pollo. If you like my recipe, give me a thumbs up, send me a comment and tell me what you think. And if you haven't subscribed, please do. Thank you.